Hi everyone, I'm going to be explaining about Agni in this video. To be honest, I'm really excited about this, the amount of features and the capabilities which it actually has. So let's just get right into it. So once you receive the login credentials of Agni and log into your own account, over the dashboard, you can see the details like good morning, good evening, or good night based on the time zone of yours and the account holder's name over here and how many calls were handled by the agent and the success rate you can see over here, and total minutes, how many minutes were utilized for the calls, and active agents in this particular account, and live calls, how many calls were live, and success rate, conversion rate, and all those insightful information. Usage trends, we have in the usage trends you can see like daily, weekly, and monthly reports, and call outcomes, how many calls were success and how many calls were failed. You can see that insightful information along with the percentage wise. And active agents, how many agents are active, you can basically view them all from here. If you want to go ahead and create new agent, you can just click on create agent, or we also have another option in the quick actions at the bottom. You just need to click on the create agent and you will be taken to the agent creation page, and where you can basically create your own agent. Now, we also have for today's activities, the activities which I have done with this account: outbound, inbound, and web calls. So when it comes to outbounds, you can see outbound calls 1886, inbound, and the web calls. You can all basically have a look at that, and you can also see the total amount over here, and top countries, which countries you trigger the call to or launch the campaigns to. So this is in terms of like you can see the percentage wise, as well as the total number, and other countries also which you might have triggered the calls to. And we have new campaign in the quick actions. You can just basically see create agent, new campaign, which is basically like importing the contacts and launching the campaigns, and add contacts. In the add contacts, you can basically import the list of CSV file which you have as a contact, or you can add them individually, which I'll be explaining in a minute. And we also have add number. So you also need to require to have a carrier, or either Twilio or custom telephony, which I'll be showing you in a minute. And you can also basically, connect with the support from here if you do have any kind of questions at all. Now, beside the overview, we also have analytics. In the analytics section, you can see total calls, total minutes, success rate, average duration, activations, and sentiments of the positive rate, as well as user trends, call outcomes, sentimental analysis, which we can do, agent performance, and call duration. Okay, as well as peak hours, or at which timing your clients are basically answering the calls, or so that you can analyze all those things and launch the campaigns at those certain timings. Now, if you move on to the next part, which is like credits at the top, you can see from here, you can just click on the credits and purchase the credits. Second of all thing is, if you want to change the whole dashboard theme, like want to switch to light mode, you can just click on it and it will turn into white. But for this video, I'm going to keep it dark, and we can see the notifications over here, as well as if you want to create a new agent, you can just click on it. Now, if you just navigate to the agent section, in the agent section, you can see all the details of the agents, the active, inactive, and all. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and open one of these agents over here. So let me just open this one. So this is the prompt section where you can basically create your own prompt, or how you want the AI to have the conversation with your clients. And at the top, we have Thunder Emotion, which is the AI model. And we also do have multiple voices over here. You can select any one of these voices, which you feel is perfect for your clients. You can also, filter them male or female, whichever you prefer. And we also have memory. So what it actually does is it will basically memorize the things and have the conversation accordingly with your client. So if you want to enable that option, you can just enable this option. What it actually is memorizing is the previous conversation basically. And we also have emotions. If you want to keep the emotions enabled, you can enable it. If you do not want, you can disable that too. When it comes to the accents, whichever the accent you want, you can select it from here, let's just go with the United Kingdom. And then we also have multiple accents over here. You're just going to select it, which will basically enabling that particular accent, right? Now, just beside that, we also have functions. When it comes to the functions, these are basically like instructions to the AI, what it actually needs to do over the conversation or once the conversation has been completed. What I actually mean by that is this end call, which means once conversation has completed, when to end the call. You can basically, add the details over here, end underscore call, and you can give the description, end the call once the conversation has been completed, or customer says bye, then it will end the call accordingly. And if you're talking about transfer call, you have for IVR and custom function. When it comes to transfer call, in the transfer call, you can basically, assign it to one of the team member, or maybe you can basically enter your own number, whichever you want the call to be transferred to. So you can enable those options. And if you want to have a custom prompt, you can write the custom prompt, okay, which will be so the call. So on hold music, we also have, if you enable this, whenever the call is on hold, it will play certain music. And we have two options over here, transfer to. There's a static, which will be transferring the call to one specific number. But when it comes to dynamic, it does have the capability to transfer the call to multiple teams. For example, there's a sales team and the support team. You can transfer to the sales team or the support team based on the conversation which AI has with your client. Now, client transfer number, you can just select the number, or it's probably going to be your number which has you have configured with this particular platform over here. And scheduling options, when it should transfer the call. We do not want our ourselves or our team to get the call 24 by 7 unless we have a certain dedicated members on rotation shift. At that point of time, you can just select the time zone and the start time and end time when it should be transferred the call. Then it will transfer the call at those times accordingly. Other times you can just have an alternative of booking an appointment. And when it comes to the calendars, we also have lead connector or cal.com. Lead connector is connecting with your Go High Level calendar. So first of all, you have to integrate your Go High Level. Then you will be able to see all the calendars of your Go High Level over here. And you can just click on the drop down menu and connect it from there. So for example, there's a lead connector. We already integrated it. That's why it's showing like that. And we can see all the, calendars at the bottom. Now, when it comes to the cal.com configuration, you need API key and event type ID. Once those two has been added, then yep, you will be able to book the appointment on your cal.com account, and you can connect your cal.com with your Google Calendar or multiple other calendars inside them, so that all the appointments will get booked on your calendar directly. And assign human agent, if you have added team members or in Go High Level you have users, you can basically assign it to your team members so that the things will be taken care with that specific department itself. Now, when it comes to the knowledge base, first of all, you have to add the knowledge base. Then you can select the knowledge base from here at the bottom. But we have this Sales for Learning part as a knowledge base for now, and one source as you can see over here. So that's the knowledge base for this specification. And speech settings. In the speech settings, you can see the what kind of background noise you want when the AI is having the conversation with your clients. Is it going to be office, city, forest, crowded, keyboard, hold, none? You can select any one of those. And if you feel like the voice is too much, you can just click on this icon. You can decrease it or increase it. When it comes to reminder or message frequency, what it actually means is when your client AI is having the conversation with the client, and for example, the client is not saying anything for prolonged period, right? So it's been 10 seconds, but the client is not saying anything at all. Then AI will remind them, are you still with me? Are you there? If you want the reminder message to be like kind of customized, you can basically enter the remind message. It will be saying that specific message over the call so that it can remind the client that AI is still on the call and they didn't provide the response. Now, when it comes to the call settings, in the call settings, you can see the voicemail detection if you want the voicemail to be detected. And once you enable this, if you want to provide any kind of voicemail to your clients, you can basically enter the message over there. which you want to provide to your clients, and that specific voicemail message will be provided to them. And we also have end call on silence. So rather than utilizing your credits, if there is no response from the client, it's better that we end the call, right? Otherwise, it's not going to be very productive. So that's exactly why we have this option. So after 10 seconds, it will end the call automatically, because if the client is not responding, it's no longer very effective to continue with the AI. So it will be basically ending the conversation after 10 seconds. And max duration. So when it comes to the max duration, we have to keep in mind that we do the testing of the agent multiple times and understand the average and leave it above what's the max length or timing for the conversation, and set it accordingly. We do not want to set the timing less than what it actually takes for the AI to have the conversation with your clients, because it will end the call regardless of if they're having the conversation with the AI or not. So it's always better to keep it higher side. Now we also got post call analysis. In the post call data extraction, you're gonna be creating multiple tags. So here we going to add the click on add and click on selector. In the selector, tags that we want to create, we can create from here. For example, if you want to create any tag for the AI to analyze and add those tags, like basically appointment booked, not booked, not interested, this kind of things. You can basically tag for, and rather than going through the whole transcription summary, you can basically have a look at the call, and those tags will be added on that call itself, and you understand that this particular client was interested, or this particular client has already booked an appointment with us over the call. So all those details will be visible, and tags makes it much easier for us to understand in a very effective way. When it comes to the webhooks settings, or in the webhooks, if you want to add the webhook and do the configuration, then you can do that. We also do have that options over here. Now, if we just navigate to the right side top, there's a welcome message, right? If you just click on the welcome message, there's a user speaks first or AI speaks first. Most of the times when it comes to the outbound, the client will answer the call and says hello, or whatever the response might be based on the language. So user speaks first is the best option. But when it comes to the inbound, it's better if you let the AI speak first. So you can set it accordingly from here. Now, if you just navigate to the knowledge base, here in the knowledge base, you can basically click on knowledge base and give it a name and provide a URL. For now, I'm just going to give it a test. Click on create. And here it will ask us to add the context as a source. So you can basically add text, URL, or file, PDF file, whichever you have, and that will be added over here. And once the knowledge base has been added, you can select this knowledge base for that specific agent, whichever the agent that you have created for. Now, when it comes to the inbound, in the inbound, you're gonna select the number, you're gonna select the agent, and then click on create route. It will be basically creating one of the inbound campaign, and that specific inbound campaign will be answering the calls of your clients and booking the appointments and so on based on the configuration which you have done in the agent section. And when it comes to the outbound, we can see all the insightful information, total calls, running calls, average, success, and active schedules, appointments. You can see all those details from here itself. And we can also view all or active, scheduled, or paused. Okay. And if you want to launch a new campaign, in order to launch a new campaign, first of all, we have to add the contacts. So if you just navigate to the contacts, here you can see all the details, right? Add contact. In the add contact section, you can basically add the contacts from here. Otherwise, if you want to import the CSV, as I've told you, you can import the CSV from here. And when you add a contact, you always have to give it a unique tag. Okay, those tags will be basically letting you know what the specific contacts is for which specific industry. So it will be easier for you to trigger the calls for multiple agents, right? If you do have a real estate agent and you have to select the real estate contacts, if you have different AI agent for different purpose, right, then you can select those contacts for that different use case. Now, in order to launch the campaign, outbound. Once the contacts has been added, you can filter those contacts like tags based, status wise, last called or added, all those filterization over here. But as we were talking about the outbound, if you just click on the add new campaign, and if you just do it in name test and select the agent and the number which you want to assign it to, and if I just click on continue here, we have all the contacts over here. So with these all contacts, how will we know which one is the one which we want to do the calls to? So you can filter them through the tags, status, last call, added, failed, which you want to basically retry, and need to follow up the clients who needs to be followed up, and fresh leads which you basically have inputted. And that's basically how you're going to filter them, and you're going to select the contacts which you want to trigger the calls to. And campaign summary, you can see the details, and here we have more insightful configurations which will be helping us to trigger the calls whenever we want. So here we're going to select the time zone, which time zone of the clients we're triggering calls to. If it is like Dubai or UAE, you want to select the UAE Dubai, and you do not want to contact them at inconvenient timings. You want to contact them at a certain timings where they're going to be awake and it won't be bothering them. So we're going to be selecting those timings from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you want to trigger the calls from Monday to Friday, we can select that. Otherwise, we can just select these days. We will be just triggering the Monday and Friday, which you can also see at the top in the days section. Monday and Friday, we're going to be triggering calls from 9 to 17 in 24 hours format. And that's basically how you're going to be doing the configuration. Once you click on create campaign, it will be creating one of the campaigns over here. If you want to pause the campaign, you can pause the campaign. If you want to start the campaign, you can also start the campaign by just clicking on over here, the blue CTAS. Now, active, scheduled, and paused campaigns also, which you can see. And now, if you just navigate to the AI call history, so all the calls which are done by the AI, you can see all those things over here. In this section, you can see the details of the calls and all. If I just scroll down slowly in the context, you can see all the details, status of the calls, channels, and it's an outbound channel. And when it comes to the duration, we can see the duration of the conversations, and there's not much durations, which because it's a no answer, right? That's exactly why. And you can see the details of the agent and the timing. If you want to get more insightful information, you can see the all the details. This is the number which we use to trigger the calls, and this is the number of the client, and this is the agent which we have used, how many credits were used, and the time when the call was triggered. You can basically filter them based off of web, inbound, outbound. Okay, and you can also sort them from here, or all time sort, search if you want to search for a specific contact later on any point of time. And if you want to check all the appointments which has been scheduled by the AI, you can come back to appointments. In the appointment section, if you have done the integration with the Go High Level, then you can see the Go High Level, all the details over here. So as you can see over here in the appointment section, you can see all the appointments which has been scheduled by the AI assistant, and confirm, cancel, reschedule. You can see all the status of those ones. And this is a monthly view, and if you want to change it to weekly, daily, we can also do that. And if you just navigate to the contacts which I've explained previously, you can see all the contact details. If you want to delete anything, you can just do that. Otherwise, you can add the contacts. Now, if you just navigate to the phone numbers, in the phone numbers section, you can basically add the phone number by providing the details of your Twilio. Otherwise, if you want to connect your number, which is like a custom provider, you can also do the configuration over here with those details, and that number will be added, and you can use that number to launch the campaigns inbound and outbound. But if we just navigate to the credits, we can also see the credits and the details of that. If you want to purchase the credits, you can just click on buy credits and purchase the credits from there, which plan you are on currently, and max members, max regions, call concurrency limit, max credits and system details, APIs, records. You can also see that from there. Now, if you just click all the way to the bottom, we have the profile section. If I just click on the profile, I can see all my details over here and the security details. If you want to enable the two-factor authentication, I can enable the two-factor authentication from here so that it's multi-layer protected. If you want to change the password, we can change the password from here. Active sessions also we can see it's logged in a browser. Those all insightful informations are there, and recent activity. Now, if I just click on round team, here we can see the organization details if you want to switch to multiple accounts, which is fine. If you want to log out, you can log out from here. And if you need any point of time, if you want any kind of assistant, you can just reach out to us from this widget itself all the way to the right side bottom. And if you want to see the billing history or download any kind of details, you can just download them from here. And have a nice day. Thanks for watching.